Welcome everybody to another beautiful session at the Light Warrior Collective this Sunday, the 21st of August in 2022. We lost count a bit, I have to check what the number of this session is, but each week at this time, a beautiful moment of self-care for all of you. My name is Wouter Verburg. I'm your tech host for today. If you have any technical difficulties, send me a direct message. And for the introduction of today, I would like to hand it over to our beautiful Mimi.
Hi, beautiful souls. My name is Mimi, and I will be your co-host for today. As a reminder, this is a safe community space in which every Sunday at the same time, we can show up as our true selves and co-create. So speaking of showing up, I would like to hand over to Despina, who will introduce you to our guest of today.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure and honor to be introducing the one and only Iskra. I tried to write some things, but I couldn't. There was no text possible to say what you really are and what you mean to me, honestly. The only thing I could think of is your name, Iskra, which is a spark. In Bulgarian, Iskra means a spark. And with her, you see, what you see is what you get. There is nothing else. There is no funny thing, no fakeness. She's really authentic, professional, consistent. I love her stubbornness and persistence sometimes. She inspires me to do it again and again and again. I see how, honest she is with her communications, the people that she interacts with. She has a wonderful balance of energies, and she's generous with her sharing. But I think the most and the best and the most precious of all is her open heart. She has a true open heart, and she has taught me, because I have worked with her, how to open my heart and just be me. Thank you, Iskra.
Oh my. Okay, so let's see, how authentic shall I be? Start crying or take time to get my words back? Oh, it's well, okay. First take a breath, and also it's not that you're feeling the same what I'm feeling, but it usually helps. And this is usually how I start my session, is to take a breath. And the way I do it is I first start breathing through the feet and releasing any thoughts or energies or stuff that doesn't serve us. So let's do that while I'm waiting for my voice to and my mind to come back. Let's kick off this amazing co-creation space. And it helps when we place one hand on the heart and the other on the belly, and close the eyes and breathe out. You can do it with a sigh, you can do it with a sound, and simply breathing out without any tension, without any pressure, releasing all the energies from all the subtle or physical bodies, releasing them out, intending to share them with Mother Earth, who graciously will recycle them. And by breathing out, we create space inside of us, we slow down, we sink into ourselves, we sink into our core, and we connect with our heart. And now that we created this internal space, we can shift the intention to breathing in, and we breathe in love, curiosity, hope, peace, and connection. And we can do that very gently without any pressure, everyone at your own timing. Feeling expansion, feeling complete, feeling connected with each other from the heart. Okay, I think I'm back, connected with myself. Despina, your words really touched my heart. And I just was reading today your feedback on the ShowUP process. the one that I really feel honored to be sharing with you today, a process that I co-created with my clients. It's getting close to almost 2 years ago. And speaking about co-creation is one of my core values. So I will try to create a space for co-creating today, and co-creating from the sense that I'm not this type of speakers to stay on stage and just talk and be so happy looking at people praising her or applauding. Like, I need to be in interaction. I need to have a dialogue. So I will make sure that we have this today, even though I will be sharing a lot. I will be sharing the 7 steps of this process. And speaking about speaking on stage, I just came back yesterday from a speaking event that I tried to create a dialogue, and it happened at the second part of this event, talking about the biggest failure of my life, and this was amazing. I so much loved to put myself in the shoes of my clients, because I'm pushing them to show up, to step out of their comfort zone, and I put myself exactly in that, to talk about the biggest failure in my life, not just to anybody, but having my 2 sons in front of me. So this was the biggest challenge. Actually, it wasn't about sharing with anybody. Okay, so before we move forward, maybe I have to say who am I, because I don't think I have met with all of you. I'm a clarity and confidence coach, and this is what my clients have named me. I'm also an executive film producer. I have a Master of Science in Computers. I have done lots of stuff. I have created university courses on strategic advertising and commercial film production. I have been creating courses for primary school on mindfulness and empathic communication. So lots of stuff, but I'm just throwing these elements to create a bit of context. So when you hear me talking about the 7 steps of the ShowUP process, for you to know that I have some practical experience and I have some background. So it's not just something that was taken from here or there, but it was all lived through me. And maybe I have to add also that I've been meditating since 1995, and I have participated at European Championship of Tai Chi Chuan in 2004, many years back. So all this stuff, as I mentioned, Reiki, Qigong, Bowen therapy, etc. Lots of stuff. So we're stopping here with this information, and I will start sharing my screen. But let me see. I would love to have a view on all of you so we can interact. Maybe I can put for myself the gallery so that I can see you. And I invite you to co-create together. When I have a question to you and you may find a positive or negative answer, to either raise your digital hand or raise your physical hand. And if Despina could help me maybe sometimes with some of the questions. As always, she's my usual accomplice when I host my weekly live shows in my free Facebook community. I cannot do without her. It's always good to keep the finger on the pulse. Is it how people say it? Yes, just to, if you have a question, if you need me to do some clarification, please feel free to do that. Okay, so first, if you have something to write down, you will not need to take many notes, because these are just 7 steps. And I think the most important thing is for you to connect and feel what I'm talking about, but maybe just write down the names of the different phases, just 7, or take a screenshot. At the end of our session, I will be able, or maybe I can do that now, share with you a link from where you can download the description with many details of the whole process. I think this will help you to refresh and also ask questions further. But for now, have a journal, as you had already the invitation, have something to drink, and let's get into listening and co-creating. Okay, so sharing my screen. Just one moment, because now, okay, do I have to go to advanced? Because I found it. Great. So just let me know what you see.
Perfect. See your normal screen. with a lot
Yeah.
of displays. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh
Very
my
good.
goodness.
If you can
This
maximize
is
it.
lots of stuff. Okay, let me see. I wanted to share only one thing, and I think because I'm not the host of it, I'm sharing everything that is there, right? So can I share just one document?
Mhm.
Do you see
Perfect.
just okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. So when we talk about showing up, there are many different interpretations. Like for many people, to show up means to be more visible on social media. For other people, there is a different depth of it. Be more present in their lives, in their communication. For other people, is about finding the courage to start talking about launching their new projects or their businesses. For other people, it is about becoming available to share themselves with their services and start changing the world. So the questions are very different, but I usually find that the people who come to this point to start wondering what is it more, where are the answers to the questions that I'm having inside, but I cannot find them, they have some similar set of obstacles or challenges that they're going through, and I will very briefly go through them because I just have them so much detailed in this document that I had created. It's not really for presentation in this format, but more for contemplation. That's why I said that I'm going to share it. These are some of the questions, and now I'm going to make it smaller and see whether, okay. Let's see whether we can read. Yes. So first, starting with the question, have you felt this strong desire to create a change? And as I said, the change could be in many different aspects of your life. Maybe you have a dream, maybe you feel this calling that there is something bigger, that there is a legacy that you know that you are meant to create, but you don't know how exactly. Maybe you need to start making choices that are more aligned with you, and you're not really certain what exactly is you. And there are things, obviously, that are holding you back because you're not doing what you feel that you might be doing. You're not realizing your potential. For many people, the usual fear that holds them back is the fear of criticism, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment. And something that I recently started working more with, I started seeing it more present in the people around me, is the fear of success, the fear of leaving people behind, because it's so painful when we grow on our way, on our journey, and we start growing apart with our life partner, within our family, or even with business partner. Like separating at these stages, it's so painful. So for many people, it feels safer to stay smaller, to hold themselves back, instead of moving forward and being alone or becoming alone. So then we ask another question. What is it that you're telling yourself that keeps you play small and blocks you from speaking your truth, from not opening yourself to connect from the heart, as we said from the beginning? That is stopping you from unleashing the true potential, the creative power, from pursuing the dreams. And maybe we know it intuitively, maybe people have been telling it to us, but we don't really believe them. But there are so many, there is so much greatness. Just give me a second to see, because I think that if I don't see it, maybe you are not able to see the whole page, right? Just one moment. Okay. I truly believe, and I'm sure that you would agree with me, and if you agree, raise your hand, that we're all meant for some greatness. We're all meant to fulfill the potential that we have. We're all people who are on the journey of self-development, of self-discovery or rediscovery. And there is a moment when the time comes for all of us, and the time is different for each and every one, to be seen in our authenticity at home, in the business, in life in general. This happens, we feel this moment when it's time to start making aligned choices and to start creating impact on smaller or even on a bigger scale. And what happens when you say yes to living your purpose, you gather this courage and start stepping up, and then everything changes, right? Let me stop sharing first, because as I said, I want to have this conversation, and I want to check who of you feels that this was really challenging, who have already been through this step, who has already pushed yourself to step up, or who is still at this unknown zone and trying to figure out, trying to make it work. Yes, yeah, let's have a bit of sharing. I'm really curious to hear, so that I know how to continue forward. So would you like to share with us, Sailesh?
Sure, yeah. So one of the journeys that I wanted to go on is I like to be in service to individuals. I've been doing that for many, many years, but I needed to formalize that. And I felt a calling into my church, and I became a Stevens minister. As being a Stevens minister requires you to take time out of your personal time to go and support an individual that's going through life adversity. And there's always this monkey chatter that's sitting on my shoulder saying, oh, are you good enough? Sometimes, right? Can you support this person? This person is probably a Christian and has been a Christian for so many years. Can you be there for them? So there's all this chat, and it's when that happens, I need to be in places like this to be able to reconnect to myself, to realign. So, and I still go through those challenges. So I'd love to hear other people's views and how they get over those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this so openly with us. And I see that Leah also wants to share, but I just want to say here that this chatter, this monkey mind or this inner judge, they're always there in our heads, and they will be there while we live, because their purpose is to protect us from failure, to protect us from some expectations based on past experiences, to protect us from stuff that has happened on national level. We're also connected. I don't know whether you have worked with family constellations, with the energies of the tribes and the generations, but it's not an easy thing to overcome, but there are always tools that help us either to silence the inner judge or to make it friend. And I have created a separate process. If you're interested, I can share the link to the workbook with you later, how to work with the inner judge. And it's amazing because we have the ways, and the ways, sometimes the keys are in our body. But thank you so much for sharing this, Sailesh. And Leah, would you like to share with us?
Thank you. Thank you for this safe space. I appreciate it very much. Yes, I come to these wonderful groups for connection, for love, for support, and to give support. I just turned 65 this month, and I've been on a healing journey for 2 years, and unemployed, and going into what we call retirement over here. And I know where I want to live. I want to move. I want to be part of a community. My fear is the feeling secure at my age financially. I am scared to death to do this. And then every time I feel like I'm healing myself and I get, this is where, okay, I can move forward, another emotion comes and tackles that feeling, it's really this that I'm trying to heal myself with. So kind of prevents me from being motivated in order to take that step to move where I want to go and to find it's the cycle. Thank you. Complete.
Thank you so much. This is another very important moment that, again, all of us, we move through that. The feeling of security, the feeling of safety, we need it in different stages of our life. It takes different shape, but financial security is something so basic, so primary, like it's in our bones. We need this. We need to feel connected to abundance. We need to feel connected to prosperity. And we need to trust. And again, I'm saying this is not an easy thing to do, and it doesn't happen, according to my experience, doesn't happen through the mind. I personally work energetically with, I use so many different tools, including the sacred money archetypes, to be able to get this deeper understanding about me and about my models of behavior, and then to be able to meet also people, the other people in my life, and with their own differences, with their own different archetypes when it comes to money. So the great things that there are ways to tackle it. There are ways to discover more and to go deep, and we are free and we have the opportunity to select the tools that fit us individually and personally. Thank you so much. It was amazing to hear from both of you. I see that the chat is really engaged, and I really appreciate you. I will take the time to read after, because I want us to start talking now on the essence of this system, because I believe that it will help you get more clarity and at least create a structure for you, something like a roadmap. So talking about understanding better ourselves, let me jump through all the slides and go straight away to the first step. No, this is the representation of the process of the ShowUP. So as I said, I designed it first based on my own journey. Do you see it shared? No, you don't see it yet. So this is the 7 steps. Yeah, you see them all good? Everyone sees. So 7 steps that are connected in a circle, and this is an ever-going process that if you feel that you resonate with it, you can continue using it further and further on your journey of evolution. And I like to feel and to see energetically that our evolution is like a spiral going higher and still coming back to the same starting point, but already with different understanding, already with a bit more wisdom, a bit more skills. And yet I still face fear, I still feel insecurity, I still feel shame, I still feel doubt, but it's getting easier and easier. Sometimes momentarily I can remember of some of my powerful tools and start using them, but it is guaranteed that while we live, we will be going through the ups and downs, the way the sinusoid of the cardiogram represents us being alive, right? So the first step is self-reflection. And what we do is we take a look at our life and we create kind of diagnosis where we are, what's going on in our life, and then we set an intention to move forward. After that, we go through the second stage, which is self-acceptance. And here we look through the lens of a particular focus. We choose one area of our life and we see where we are and where we want to go. And from here, we deconstruct our whole life, starting from the visible results, going under and discovering what has led us to be where we are. And we land in the space of self-acceptance, of silence, of mindfulness, to realize that we're not victims, and there have been so many factors in our life that have led to that. The next stage is the self-awareness. This is the stage where we work with our identities and what are the elements that have brought us to who we are, and start accepting who we are. The next level, going even deeper or higher, wherever you feel like, whatever your inner space gives you a metaphor for it, is the self-trust. And this is about creating a system of core values, our inner compass. The next one, stage number 5, is the phase or the stage of self-expression. speaking from the heart, expressing ourselves authentically. The sixth one is self-worth, understanding our worth, understanding who we are with our potential, with the inner abundance that also reflects or translates into external abundance. And the last step, the last phase is the self-actualization. Here there is a tool that I have designed, like for every one of the steps, there is a tool that I have created. And at the last one, the tool, the clarity and confidence funnel, restructures, reorganizes all the information, all the insights that have been achieved through this process to help create a very clear guidance and don't leave any space for hesitation, but step forward and start showing up. And when we finish this circle, we can start again from the beginning and we can take another focus. So let me stop sharing for a moment. And before I have shared with you the details, let me ask you, how do you feel about this process? Does it feel logical? Does it feel easy? Is there any of the steps that you feel could be more or less challenging to you? And again, you can raise your physical hand or you can raise the digital hand. Let me just see. And Jovia, do I say it right? Yes, please.
Yes, hi, my name is Jovio, and I think the process is very, very informative, as well as I think it's very logical. Like you say that all the steps and the phases are kind of like sequential. But my question to you is, because a lot of time, I think someday we feel good. We feel that, oh, wow, this is perfect. We are in the highest self, and then we feel that the process is like, we are in that phase, but someday we will come back to the first phase. So I feel like this happens a lot for me, especially in my life. A lot of time when you are in the good days, you feel like everything is aligned with your thoughts and your mindset. Your universe is just like all come to you. But when you have a lot of challenge, especially when you have one challenge and another challenge will come along at the same time, and then you have like 10 challenges come and challenge you at the same time. So when you try to stay calm, which is one of the things we need to learn, right? So how your reaction, how to remain calm when you are in challenges. And then you start to think that, where should I be now? Should I stay like idle, or should I continue to like move forward? And these are the things that we always like ask ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. This is an amazing question, and I haven't thought about it for quite some time. And my answer may sound a bit controversial. When you are in this challenge or turmoil or whatever, I feel that it is not right to force yourself to be in peace and to be calm, because you feel this turmoil, you feel this inner storm, and obviously there are energies that are clashing within yourself, right? And what you need is to accept them, to acknowledge them, to name them. Just by naming them, just by giving them the space. I have my chills now, my hair is raising. It's amazing while talking about it. Allowing them to be seen is already creating internal peace. Like naming, I am feeling fear. I'm being doubtful. I don't know where to go. Like being very honest and naming whatever there is. And it's really important to become and to be becoming more and more literate about naming the feelings that we experience when things are not going right. When we are feeling okay, in harmony, in balance, and life is beautiful, it's the time to enjoy. It's not the time for the inner work. When we face the challenge, the very first thing is to immerse ourselves in the self-acceptance. That's why self-acceptance was so low. It's in the basis of this process. We start with self-reflection, then we have the self-acceptance, which is right after we have designed or identified where we are and what's going on and where we want to be. We have to start from the self-acceptance so that we can allow things to be seen, bring them into the light, and then say to ourselves, it's okay that I'm not perfect. It is okay that I'm human. It is okay that I feel the pain. It is okay that this wound is not healed yet. I'm naming it, I'm seeing it, I'm accepting it. And now I can breathe easily because coming back to the inner judge is silent because the inner judge has no space, because I'm not afraid to name what I feel and how I feel. It is okay to feel rage. It is okay to feel hatred. It is not okay to stay in that. It is not okay to stay trapped in these emotions, but it is okay to name it, to see, to acknowledge it. And then when we calm down a bit and the energies in our body calm, because it's not the mind acknowledges, the mind finds the words, but it's actually the energies that need to come in harmony. And that's why I love to work with the body. That's why I love Tai Chi, I love Qigong, I love all this breathing and different ways to put our body, our main tool, in work, is that we can overcome it by following some simple sequences, like their Zen practices. I have worked with Zen masters that or the PQ reps, if you're familiar with the positive intelligence work. You distract the criticizing mind. You distract the pain body by giving certain simple works, and then the tension kind of naturally gets released from the body. So back to your question, how to stay calm, the answer is to not want to stay calm, but to want to be present in your body and to simplify the things, because when we are in this big inner pressure, challenge, fight, whatever there is, whatever word you use, we feel pulled in different directions. The mind is taking us here and say, yeah, but you have so many tools, you've done so much training, so much work, you should know how to keep yourself calm. Yeah, but there is this to do. Yeah, but next time in 5 minutes, I have to go take care of myself and I'm not able to keep myself calm and I have to do this. And like we feel pulled in different directions. The solution is to breathe, to name what we feel, to take our time, and then the solution kind of presents itself naturally. Let me know if this resonates.
Yeah,
with
this
you.
is very resonating, especially when you, I mean, I'm a life coach myself and I'm a yoga teacher. So everybody think yoga teacher is like divine and never have stress in life. They are the calmest person, but I just tell them I'm also a human being as well. And I have a life, I have kids, you know how everything comes together, and I have a job, you know, like everything comes together, and I still have my moment. So, but people will think, oh, yoga teacher, you should always be peace, and then you should know how to manage your life. But I just explain to them at the same time, we are all human beings. We have emotion. And I'm not afraid to show my vulnerability to everybody. Just kind of like you show them this is, you're not like, this is not in your great moment, and you don't need to force yourself to be calm if you are not calm. You just have to accept the feeling, like you say, just like self-attachment. But you know that you are in pain. You need to tell people you are in pain. So I think that's what's true to your client as well, because I know that a lot of us here, like we are coach and we want to make sure we portray the best self, but we need to kind of show sometimes we have dark side too, right? We have to integrate our shadow side as well. That's make you like a human being. So
Yes,
that's what I want to share on that.
I think this is so important for us to be presenting ourselves as who we truly are. And this is actually the focus of ShowUP, to be showing up authentically as ourselves. And especially when we have children, I believe that it is wrong to show them that we're always calm, that we're always centered. It is not okay to shout at them, but it is okay to tell them, and this is what I tell my son, because I've been raising him with nonviolent communication since he was born. When he pushes one of my buttons, or many at the same time, I'll just say, I cannot talk at the moment, I need my time out, I need to go outside, I need to hug a tree or breathe or walk barefoot, and in a couple of moments I will come back and then we will continue talking. And naming, I feel frustrated, I feel angry, but taking responsibility about how I feel, and not you made me. It's not you made me angry, it's not you taking responsibility or control over me, but it is me. I'm responsible for my life, I'm responsible for my energies, I'm responsible for this breakdown because I didn't have enough sleep or something else happened. taking responsibility and acknowledging who we are at this very moment, I think is the most truthful thing we can do for the people that we love, people we love around us. And back to what you said about the image that is expected from us. This is wrong. We are not supposed to be calm all the time, even though I'm a Tai Chi teacher, or you're a yoga instructor, or a meditation guru, or whatever. We are human. It's not realistic to stop going through the ups and downs, because, as I said, the metaphor of the electrocardiogram, like the moment we have the flat line, either in the total bliss or in the total low point, we're dead. We have to be going through that. And if this doesn't happen, it means something is wrong. Maybe we are desensitized. Maybe we are going through PST, what is it, post-traumatic disorder, and we don't feel, we don't sense anything, and that's why we're all the time calm, because we simply don't feel. So we have to, and I'm always grateful for moments of challenges that come to me, because then they help me learn more about myself, learn something new that I have not experienced until now. I don't say that it is easy, but I'm grateful for the challenges and for these moments.
Thank you. This is great. Thank you. Love your insight.
Yes, I thank you so much. Okay, so share the screen again and go back. And so the 7 steps: reflection, acceptance, awareness, trust, expression, worth, actualization. And here a bit more, and please don't take your time to read it because it's too much. I'm saying again, I'm sorry, this was not meant for screen presentation. My Canva account just couldn't log normally. I think some fonts disappeared, so I couldn't reduce it. But starting from the self-reflection, the very first thing is acknowledging, diagnosing where we are, what's going on. And for many people, this is not part of their agenda whatsoever. There are so few people. I'm sure that you have been looking at your life. You have maybe worked with the life book or some other tools that help you have a look at your life, but taking the bird's eye view and checking, how is my health? How is my love life? How are my finances? How is my career? How is the physical environment I live in? What is the level of satisfaction with my friendship or with my family? Putting them all together, and you can use a tool like the Wheel of Life or Wheel of Wellness or something else, and asking yourself, am I happy with my life? And this is a very scary question. Imagine asking yourself, are you happy with your marriage? Are you happy with your health or with your look? And the answer is not positive. And that's why people don't ask themselves questions. And that's why there is the power and the need of coaches and mentors to hold space for people, for making them feel seen, heard, accepted for who they are, and giving them the space to express themselves, right? So self-reflection is the very important first step. And from here, we can build everything else. The next step, the self-acceptance, as I said, we start from the top, we see the visible results, and then we start uncovering layer by layer what is under that. Why do I have these results? Because obviously I have been taking or not taking certain actions. Why have I been taking these actions? Because I have had this mindset or this behavior or this particular attitude. Why have I had this attitude, behavior, mindset? Because I have these beliefs, because I have these values. Why do I have these values, these core values? Because I have this particular identity. What has brought me to be who I am in this particular role or with this particular identity? And we have a look at all the positive and negative events in our lives, in the environment, cultural, racial, even geographical sometimes. And then at the bottom of this pyramid that we start, or maybe iceberg, whichever metaphor works better for you, we discover this amazing space of self-acceptance when we can sit in silence, in peace, grounded in ourselves, and we have a look at this whole very complex structure of our life with acknowledging and humility and understanding that we're not victims. And by changing just one element of this whole structure, the final outcome will be already different. Yeah. So this, I hope, is clear. The next one is the self-awareness. Here we talk about identity, and we go into detail and we deconstruct exactly what has happened. And again, we remove ourselves from the space of victimhood, which could be existing in our life, could be present, the influences of our childhood since the beginning of our lives. And here we create an identity code. It's a particular tool that I have designed. The 4 steps going up is the self-trust. Here we work with identifying the core values, and this is absolutely transformational for everyone I have come across with. And let me stop sharing. I just want to ask Despina to share, because you've been through the ShowUP process. How was it for you when you started working with the core values? I didn't mean to ask you, but it just came out, and I feel that there is power with following the science. So I'm following always my intuition, and I never follow my intentions. So
It was very eye-opening that I didn't know before, because it was the first time that I did that. I didn't know before that you can have the values as a compass. And now that, you know, everything has sunk in, let's say, and I can see like this is not working well because this value has been compromised.
yes. Okay.
You know, I can, let's say, reverse engineer, like what can I do to have it. Now.
So the importance of core values. Thank you so much, Despina, for sharing with us. My core values, for example, are authenticity, trust, purpose, co-creation. So if I find myself entangled in a relationship where the person in front of me is not authentic, obviously this hurts me, because we have such a lack of alignment in this very important aspect for me. If I cannot trust the other person, or if I feel that my trust is being betrayed, this is a big no-no to me. And after I started working with my own core values, and after I translated it and I brought it in as a tool into this in this work, and started hearing the feedback from the people who went through the process, I believe that children have to start learning about core values since the earliest age. They have to understand that they have the right to trust themselves, but this is not happening in our society. Like, we are manipulating them since the moment they're born. We tell them what is right for them to wear or not. Even if they feel hot, we put thick clothes on them. They want to eat, we don't give them to eat because they have to wait for 2 more hours because this is their schedule. Like, all this stuff that we all have been through in one way or another, because there are lots of cultural influences, as I said, also the different times when we are born. They help us to start not trusting ourselves, and designing our inner compass, designing our system of core values is absolutely fundamentally important. It helps us make better choices in our businesses, helps us understand whether it's better for me or right, or it feels good or is aligned with me to be a teacher or to be a workshop leader. And it's so amazing. Like, life becomes so much easier when we develop this awareness about our core values. And then we check, how do I make choices about self-expression, about professional expression, about choosing the place to live, about choosing the place to take my children to go to. Like, it's absolutely, absolutely amazing. So going back, let me first check if we have any questions on this. Yes, please, Sailesh.
I just wanted to bring a masculine representation of what you just literally said about core values. And I used to lead a men's team some time ago, and one of the acronyms that we used was NUTS, NUTS, which basically stands for non-negotiable, unalterable terms. And it's so interesting because when you're living with anybody, you know, whether it's your children, with your spouse, in a relationship, going to work, every one of us will have terms. And quite often we mistake our terms to be conditions. Like, for example, it's one of my terms to spend time with God on a Sunday, go to church. Whether it's raining or whether it's shining, I'm going to be there. It's one of my terms that when there's a family event, I will be there. And if the spouse or a partner prevents you for whatever reason, well, you're going to feel some crap inside. And it's important to be able to stand up to that. So the reason why I said masculine is because one of the things that I learned, and apologies to all the ladies that are here, is the feminine version of it tends to be very conditional, right? And being able to alter from conditions to definite values, like you mentioned, the core values, I think is a step forward in our journey, because once we realize that, we become self-aware, and we're going to feel tension in our body in different places where it just doesn't sit well with us. And all of a sudden we realize, okay, well, one of my core values is being questioned or is being challenged. And I need to stand up for me in that moment in time. Mm-hmm. So I hope I didn't, I hope that I did not, what's the right word, offend anybody by saying that, but I just felt it was important.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And let me see, we have 8 more minutes. Let me complete with the last, I think we have 2 or 3 steps, so that we have at least 1-2 minutes for sharing at the end, because I would love to hear more from you. Where did I lost it. Okay, I found it. It's here. Okay, so just one moment. So self-trust, we design our code of conduct, the system of our core values. And after we get this awareness, which is really important, as I said, life-changing, we come to the self-expression, knowing what is important to us, knowing what are the fundamental, the stepping stones in our life. Now we can talk about why this is important for us. Now we can talk about our needs. Now we can talk about how do I feel when my needs are honored or not honored. And here we can use different systems about exploring and learning about our needs. We can use the Maslow expanded pyramid. We can use Tony Robbins. There are several other modules. It's up to us, but it's so important to learn to talk, to express ourselves from the space of the heart with empathy. And I mentioned already, nonviolent communication is absolutely fundamental. And I heard from Lisa Nichols 5 years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago, when I joined her Speak and Inspire program, I heard the term carefrontation. I got so excited about it. I researched it and I discovered that it was developed about 20 years before her from several therapists and psychologists. And it's about connecting with people and honoring them with their differences, as well as starting, like on first place, starting by honoring ourselves. After we learn to express authentically, genuinely, trusting, respecting, honoring ourselves, we come to work with the self-worth. We have done already so much work, and now we have prepared the ground to tap into the abundance, the sense of abundance, the sense of self-worth, acknowledging what we already have, all our talents or all our skills, developing the possibility to receive compliments, to receive appreciation, because when we start this journey, even if people tell us, you're the great one, you're amazing, you're such a healer, you're such a coach, you're such a therapist, you're such an amazing expert, we have so many blocks that we're not able to receive that. So doing this work, I bring the concept of self-worth and the work with abundance using the sacred money archetypes almost at the end, because we need to have done all this internal work. And the last one is the self-actualization. Having worked with all these different concepts under the surface, we are now ready to bring all the elements of the puzzle and design this clarity and confidence funnel. At the tip of it is just one thing to start showing up. There is no hesitation, there is no doubt, there is no self-blame. It's pure clarity, pure understanding, pure self-awareness. And we only take energized action. And I'm speaking here about a bonus, and this is a bonus to the process. When I work with my clients, it's self-celebration. I ask them, I push them to celebrate themselves from the very first moment, because we forget to have fun, we forget to connect with joy, and joy is our birthright. Imagine a baby that doesn't giggle, that doesn't laugh. Imagine a toddler that is not enjoying life. So there is more after that, and yes, after we finish with that, we can come back again in the beginning and we can start working either with the same sphere, if we have chosen one particular area of our life, or we can go in a different depth through the same or a different area of our life. And I stop sharing now, and we have 3.5 more minutes. I would love to hear how do you feel about this process, and if you got any insights or aha moments, something that you would love to share here and help me enrich this process, or maybe the presentation of the process. And before we do that, I just want to tell you that I'm opening a new cohort for the ShowUP incubator, which is the mastermind, the safe space with just a couple of people with whom we go through this process. We're seeing each other weekly in group settings or one-on-one. And I'm also having Despina part of it, because she's will be doing a motion called clearance sessions. As I said, it's not just the mind, it's the energy. So if you're interested, feel free to get in touch with me. But yeah, let me hear, what is it that one thing that you take away from today's time together?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Carolyn.
Yeah.
I was just going to say quickly that joy is so important in our lives, because it is actually when we are joyful that a lot of times we can be the most in touch with our intuition and what is right for us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's why I left it at the end as the cherry on the top of the cake. Yeah.